Furry.
No, I'm an axolotl. Also Aristotle.
Hey there, all you...
Furry.
You know, that's not helping my case. Hey there, all you gals, gents, and peeps. This is Axolotl Aristotle, and today I have something special for you. Normally, I'm a video essayist, but I decided to try my hand at investigative journalism. See, there's this small-time content creator, you guys might not know him, his name's, oh yeah, Joe Rogan. Good old Joe, he popularized the idea that furries are not only in schools, but also have kids using litter boxes to go to the bathroom. And when I first heard that, I thought it was just something really weird and dumb and a joke, and I'm just going to ignore it. But now there are literal politicians trying to peddle this to people as fact. But is it really? And what even is a furry? Well, me and some of my friends went to the world's largest furry convention to find out. Midwest Fur Fest is held in Chicago every December, so this year, me and a couple of my friends made the trip to the Windy City to see what was what. We arrived a day early and got to go to the Art Institute, where I found this lovely photograph in the basement of someone licking someone else's eyeball. And while I was staring at this beautiful horror, I couldn't help but think to myself, this is gonna be the least weird thing I'll see this weekend, isn't it? And trust me, we'll get into the weird stuff, I promise. That night, we went to register, and I found out that we weren't actually at a furry convention. We were at a line convention! So this wasn't my first rodeo. I've been to anime conventions before, but this was my first convention post-COVID, and as it turns out, you have to prove that you're vaccinated for COVID, which means they check your ID and vaccine card. It took 2 hours of waiting, but once we were through, I got my vaccine badge and entry into Line Con 2! God f***ing damn it. Basically, this was the line for actually getting the badge entry for the con, and problems started to arise. See, I just used my YouTuber name, which actually got a compliment from the badge giver, but one of my friends used his real name, first and last name, and the guy giving out the badges gave him a really funny look and said, "Are you sure you want this as your name?" We could already tell that we would probably stick out like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Why did I write that? I think that was a mistake. With that, our night was over, but the next day we went back to the con for our first experience with furries. There were a lot of them. A lot. When checking the map for where to go, I did notice that there was a room for free HIV and STD testing. And you know what? That's more progressive than the current American healthcare system. Good on you, furries. Since we were at the main hotel area, we decided to check out some of the panels going on, and I was really surprised. There was a plethora of all kinds of different things like escape rooms, convention guides, furry psychology, tabletop RPGs, job horror stories, concerts, meetups, how-tos, etc. And that's only naming a few of them, and that was only day one. They also had this huge game room in the basement filled with all different kinds of board games. There was an entire off-branch room for VR. There was arcade games. Hell, there were even people playing Halo. If you wanted to play whatever, you could just walk in and find someone easily enough, whether it was a board game or a video game. Personally, I got to play in the Commander tournament, and while I didn't win, I did meet some cool people. We also heard that the rave scene was really good. There were multiple raves and dances held during the con, but when we tried to get into one of them, we were turned away because we had bags. And, these were just light bags that you would just, on a cord that you put on your back, I'll have a picture of it here. We were just using it to hold some of our equipment and, whatever we ended up buying from the dealer's den. But, those were denied, so... anyone that knows why a dance wouldn't allow small bags, please let me know. I don't get it, but I'm also really, really dumb. So, with the main hotel out of the way, it was time to make our way to the main convention area called the Dealer's Den and Artist Alley. The walk there was longer than I thought and filled with, I'm assuming, every kind of furry imaginable. Once we got there, though, well, I was taken aback. The area was absolutely huge to a scale I didn't expect from something like a furry convention. There were so many different vendors there, all selling various kinds of furry or furry-adjacent media. For normies like myself, they had Pokemon, Digimon, Cult of the Lamb. They also had books, tabletop RPGs, skateboards, I don't know why, posters, a biologist giving free classes, giant dildos, art, t-shirts, hoodies, board games. I'll share the merchandise I personally got. You know, I had this really funny bit I was going to do with the Lambie pop socket, make a joke, that kind of thing. But while I was writing the script, I forgot to realize that I'm filming this on my phone. I also got some Cult of the Lamb stickers, a ghost-type Pokemon acrylic charm, and this Mudkip plush. I call him Puddles, I love him, he is my child. They even had furry musicians, one of which was kind enough to let me interview him.
Hi, my name is Pepper Coyote. I'm the world's only furry musician.
So what exactly does furry music entail?
Well, that's been a question people have been trying to answer for 10 plus years. Back when I originally got started, people also asked, like, well, what makes the music furry? And it's like, well, on a literal sense, kind of nothing. Because if I could find out a way to express an animal, but it's a person through a song. And I guess we kind of tried. We have a song called Suit Up, for instance. And is that about wearing a business suit to a job interview, or is it about wearing a fursuit to a convention? I kind of wrote it so it could be either. Then I have my most famous song, which is about a horse. And if you've ever been on Twitch, you get to request the song streams. You've probably heard it before. That one, definitely. But is it furry or is it music about animals? If a country musician writes about a coyote, are they a furry musician now?
So I see your studio is called Harassment Records. Does that stand for anything?
So I have a frequent collaborator called Fox Amour, and we were Foxes and Peppers. And then years later, we realized that the abbreviation would be FAP. And in this case, we're trying to do a goof on RCA, so I needed 3 letters. I'm like, well,
there you go, yeah.
Why not?
App Records. So, for any person that wants to experience your music for the first time,
that's fair enough.
Which
I kind of feel
record
the same
or
way.
song would you
if we
recommend
could just
them look
stay
into?
in this reality.
If you look up the album M-U-H, that's like a normal people music. In fact, you would have no idea that it was furry music if you just put it up. I have a lot of people all the time like, my parents were listening to music with me, like, wow, this is really good. And then they found out it's by a furry. They're like, what? if you want to consume my like PG-13 plus content, you're looking for Blast Radius, which has the aforementioned horse song on it.
Oh, I see. So this one. I see. It's called No Like Horse.
That is the money maker.
While I was walking around, I did notice that a lot of people have these big images of their furry character on their lanyards. They're called badges, and I didn't want to be left out of the fun, so I actually ordered one for myself. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to be done there. It has shipped, but the artist was kind enough to share a photo of it, and I just absolutely love it. It's just looking like an ancient Greek statue, and I don't know what I'll use it for, but I love it. I was also convinced into getting an Umbreon Kigurumi by my friends, sort of a way to blend in, as it were. For those of you unaware, a Kigurumi is sort of like a onesie pajama in the style of an animal, or in my case, a Pokemon. It was my first time ever wearing one. I had only ever heard of them when Chris Hardwick was telling a story about he and his girlfriend got them like, I don't know, 10-ish years ago on The Talking Dead, if anyone remembers that show. Is that even still a thing? I don't know. And I do have to say, it's actually quite comfortable. And you know what? It actually worked. I was attending an improv comedy panel. My enthusiasm mixed with the Kigu actually got me pulled up on stage to duke it out like Eminem did in 8 Mile. Minus the rapping, because, oh man, no one wants to see me do that.
Shit, why does this dog have glasses?
Thank you.
Oh my god, it talks!
Not like your mother last night.
Little side note here. If you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It would really mean a lot. I'm trying to get at least 500 subs before my channel's 2nd anniversary next month. Thank you so much again. Anyways, back to the video. Of course, now that I was in the thick of things, I did have to start interviewing some furries. And let me tell you, they were pretty friendly, and some of them came from all over the world to go to this convention.
I don't think you're from the US, right?
I am not. I am from the United Kingdom. I've flown all the way over here to experience MFF for the first time and also the US for the first time.
Oh wow, how are you liking both things?
It's very different in the US, very different, but very cool. I do like it indeed.
So, did anyone go to Queen Elizabeth's viewing in a fursuit?
I don't think they did. It was apparently a whole ordeal. It took about 24 hours to actually get and see the Queen. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard these things are really hot. Yeah. So you're a reindeer, right?
Well, just a white-tailed deer. Yeah, just normal garden variety deer.
I was gonna ask what it's like only working 1 day a year.
Say that again?
I was gonna ask what it's like only working 1 day a year.
Oh, it's very good. Lots of holidays. But when I go back, I'll have to be, tracking down,
it is that season.
Yeah, meeting all the other deers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, please show up. Like, I would like to see more people who are like other queer people who want to be here, and more radical people, especially. Like, we really need the energy in this fandom. Like, in other DIY spaces, I've seen a lot more focus on like harm reduction and on like, the ways that we as a community can be more politically active. So if there are politically active people who like want to be part of Furry, please come here. We need you. We need your energy here. Like, so people will like definitely accept you with open arms. We're definitely about like acceptance of neurodivergent people. Like, if you're on the spectrum, I feel like this is like a really safe place to be yourself without judgment. And like, I would love to see other elements of acceptance and of like radical work get incorporated into that framework that we are building here and the energy that is here.
I guess my biggest question is, what kind of lotion do you do to stop your skin from scaling up?
That's a little ironic because it literally does that. It kind of drives me mad.
No worries, man.
Also, it turns out furries are way more political than I thought they were. There were entire booths dedicated to political merch. I even got this cute ACAP sticker as a gift for a friend. It does make sense though, at least to me, because a lot of furries are LGBTQ, and the right has this whole, hate campaign against the LGBTQ community, and also furries. So I decided that my question should become a little more political too.
I saw that you did political patches, eat the rich, no masters, no leashes. I'm assuming that most furries are left-leaning on the political spectrum. Has anyone ever given you any trouble over that or had a problem with that?
Only in a personal level, not here at the con or in the open community. It's been more of a person I know who doesn't agree who has said something to me.
There are I have a lot of SRA friends who are here. I have a lot of John Brown gun club people who I know are here.
So what are SRA? If for people that don't know.
The Socialist Rifle Association. There's definitely furries here who also fight back against violence.
Oh, nice.
I mean, if you look at what happened in the past at other events where there were far right people claiming they were going to show up to furry events. There was a huge online pushback. There was a lot of people coming up saying they would defend people from Proud Boys, Nazi Furs, the Milo Yiannopoulos saying he was going to come to this event.
That a few years ago or something?
Yeah, and there was a huge pushback from the community. So I really feel like our strength is that all of us are not going to tolerate hate and violence in our community.
Just to be kind of serious for a second, I did have a fear of going to this convention with all the right-wing stochastic terrorism and hate crime shootings this year. I was really nervous that the convention would be a prime target. It wouldn't have been the first time either, though that claim does come with an asterisk. See, back in 2014 at the same convention, There was some type of gas attack. It was chlorine gas. It filled the main hotel late into the night and sent numerous people to the hospital. Although no one died, it must have been terrifying to experience. To this day, the authorities, and FBI included, have been unable to determine what exactly happened. Thankfully, nothing like that happened this year, although the con wasn't free of harassment. There were a few right-wing protesters that were trying to heckle people outside of the main hotel, and my theory as to why they were outside of the hotel is because they couldn't sign up for the convention because they probably didn't get vaccinated. Headcanon aside, their signs read, "This is not normal," and "This is what a dying society looks like." I did actually want to interview them, but unfortunately I was separated from my cameraman at that time. Luckily, I was in normal clothes. I didn't have my Kyugo on, so they didn't think I was a furry, so I got to hear some of their thoughts. At first, they were talking to each other about how they could save the furries. They just needed to talk to them. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I could have a reasonable chat with them, you know? They seem to actually want to help people, even if they're a bit misguided. But then they walked up to the window and screamed, "Pedos!" and "Groomers!" So, yeah. I still kind of wanted to talk to them, but by the time I got back together with my crew, they'd already left. Apparently, someone had stolen their signs, and I like to imagine that they called the police, and the police came, and they're like, "A giant dog stole our signs!" And the police look around, and they're like, "Which one?" Oh, God. And although we did make it to the second day, trying to blend in, our intrusion into the furry wilds did not go unnoticed. We were ticketed by the furry police.
Hi, so I see that you're the thought SWAT. What exactly is a thought?
Well, you know, honest to God, at this point, when I'm doing this, the thoughts, I just give them to pretty much anyone. I'm trying to make some memories out here for anyone. Realistically, I'm not out here targeting any specific individuals. I know that people that dress like me doing the thought cop thing, I'm trying to get a better name for myself because a lot of the other people will do like questionable shit, you know what I'm saying? But what's a thought? Sluts, I guess.
Wow. So what kind of missions are the thought SWAT deployed to?
What kind of missions are the Thought SWAT deployed to? Well, I think I'm the only unit of the Thought SWAT. It also goes by the Thought Cop. I usually get deployed to any Chicago local cons here. So I'm here for ASEN. I'm here for MFF. I have gone up to First Squared and one of the other ones that's up there in Wisconsin. I'm trying to keep it local right now, but with a new job, new perks, I might be able to travel a little bit more here. So you might be seeing me at hopefully Anthrocon this year.
Oh, nice. So I want to thank you so much because I know you were going to head on out and you actually came to us when we called. And, you know, it's kind of weird having the police come when you actually call them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little bit of an odd experience. I'll totally admit that. Obviously, it seems you've got one of my reports there.
Yeah, you didn't fill it out, and we can't have a violation slip without a violation.
Oh,
so
no? Here,
what have I done?
One, then.
Oh, sure.
You got a pen on you by chance?
No, unfortunately.
Ah, damn.
But what would my violation be?
All right, for you, let's go ahead and fill this out real fast. I'll go ahead and do the whole process for you too, all right?
All right.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? The Adidas tracksuit pants. I know you can't tell, but I got the exact same ones on.
Yeah.
So I can't quite hit you for a lack of drip charge.
We got the drip.
I could probably get you for a lack of bitches charge.
All right. That's right. I have no bitches.
I think we might also be able to get you on a stranger danger, considering you called me, and then possibly a loitering, depending on how long you guys have been here.
Fair enough. All right.
So under convention law, in accordance with local code 0420-UWU, you are hereby under arrest and face a fine for, we'll say, $3. All right? Call it even.
All right.
For the violation listed below. And what I get you for? I got you for lack of bitches. You know what we'll call being too thirsty, loitering, and stranger danger. All right.
All right. Thank
now,
you
if you
so
want to do me a solid and read the bottom print there for me.
Oh boy. Your violation has been reported to the National Thought Offense Database. Failure to correct this violation will result in the revocation of potential future thought status indefinitely. If you wish to file an appeal, please send it to the following address: Twitter or Telegram at Panic Hyena.
Okay. I'm sure everyone who clicked on this video was probably waiting for this section, the weird stuff. So, was there weird stuff? Hell yeah, of course there was. But I do want to preface this section a little bit. Just because something is weird or different doesn't mean that it's bad. We as humans have a natural distrust of the new and different, but since we also have the ability to be rational, we can overcome this initial feeling of unease if we try. So I went into the con with an open mind, because while I did see some weird things that are not and will never be my personal cup of tea, I realized that there wasn't anything harmful about it. Nothing visibly sexual was going on, at least as far as I could tell, and I was there the whole time. People just had some gimmicky things on, and you know what? A lot of them rocked the look, even if I'm personally not into it. I mean, walking through the dealer's den, almost anything that could be considered not safe for work was usually hidden from plain sight, and to see it, you had to show your ID to the person to prove your age. There's also a huge area that was just filled to the absolute brim with not safe for work stuff. It was all roped off, it was behind curtains, and you couldn't get in until the official con staff checked your ID. Now, I'm not going to show footage of it because, one, I don't want YouTube to age restrict this video, and two, someone said we weren't allowed to take any photos or videos in there, but I will describe it, so buckle up, Buttercup. Now this is a statue of Jesus. He can't help me here. So, when I was there, I saw toys that were taller and wider than this guy. And furries, please, talk to me. Can something like that actually be used, or is it more like the centerpiece you put on your coffee table when your parents come over for the holidays? I want to know. The place had a ton of gear for all sorts of kinks. Kinks I didn't even know existed, and those damn Doberman masks. I did find some illegal stuff at the con. Like these illegally good fudge bars. In all seriousness though, the only thing illegal I did see at the con was a bunch of these stickers on a traffic pole, and in my humble opinion, that pole's got some drip now. All poles should look like that. Honestly, furries are a lot more wholesome than I thought. Firstly, they had several signs up that basically said, hey, we know that our culture is touchy-feely, but consent is king. Make sure the person wants a hug beforehand. Just because you know the suit, the person inside it could be someone else borrowing it. And I thought that last part was neat because I never would have thought that people shared their suits, and I'm sure some furries don't either. Hence the sign. I don't know. I just think it's super nice when a community stresses that consent is important because, honestly, as an introvert myself, knowing I won't be at risk of unwanted touching or interaction, it just makes me feel at ease, you know? Like, I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but at least I do. Also, did you know that every year the convention holds a massive charity for an organization of their choice? And I really mean it when I say massive. So this year it was for an organization called the Street Dog Coalition. Every year they're for local organizations that help animals. This year alone, they raised over $100,000 to give to this organization. And you know what? I just think that's just heartwarming. Like, when have you heard of other conventions, or like an anime convention or a Star Wars convention, whatever convention, you know, raising a ton of money for charity? At least the ones I've been to haven't. And, you know, I think others should. That being said, what are my final thoughts on furries and furry conventions? Honestly, I actually had a lot of fun. I got some really nice merch for franchises I liked, got some neat art. If you like any type of Anthro franchises like Zootopia, The Bad Guys, Pokemon, Digimon, Cult of the Lamb, there'll definitely be something there for you. If you just want to hang out with people and play all types of board games and video games, they also have you covered. And as many people I interviewed stated, it's definitely a safe space for anyone in the LGBTQ community. And no, I didn't forget to investigate the main reason for me going. Drumroll please. Yep, turns out furries don't use litter boxes. Not at their conventions, and certainly not in schools. Thank you all so much for watching. This was definitely like the most money I've ever spent on a video, just literally, you know, traveling to Chicago and just, you know, hotel, con stuff and everything. If you liked the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you want to help support me monetarily, I do have a Patreon, and normally I do just like list the names of my patrons on my videos, but this time I want to just give a special shout out to them. So thank you so much, Alexandria Harris and Jaguar Paw. You guys have been with me for a long time, and I just really appreciate it. Anyways, see all you gals, gents, and peeps in the next vid.